Brothers, welcome to this masterclass on the 3 steps to reclaim leadership of your life. So my name is McKenna-Fox, and I'm super grateful to be able to present this content to you and to be able to help you take the steps forward that you need to take so you can reclaim that leadership of your life. Like, this is so important for men in today's world, is to really step up and become that grounded masculine leader that they can be, because the transformation that comes from that is absolutely huge, and the ripple effect that that has, not just on you, but on your family, your kids, your friends, your colleagues, and the community and the collective as a whole, is so powerful. And this is where we need more grounded masculine leaders to really step up and create that change. So before we get into today's session, I want to just take a moment just to check in with ourselves, take some breaths, and just really reconnect in with where we are within ourselves. Because in today's fast-paced world, it's very easy to get caught up in everything that's around us. So just taking this moment to go inwards is going to allow you to ground in and anchor in and prepare yourself for what's ready for today's session. So wherever you are, I invite you to close down your eyes and just allow yourself to take a couple of nice deep breaths in and out. And as you're taking them breaths in and out, just allowing yourself just to feel into your body and check in with your body, to feel how you are in this moment. You might have some busyness, some noise going through your body. That's okay. Your mind might be racing, thinking about all of the different things throughout your day. And again, that's totally fine. It's just allowing yourself to gift this time to be present, this time to check in with your breath and your body, and slow things down to anchor in. So as we do so, I want you to invite you to bring that awareness into your body in itself. Feel into your physical body, and how do you feel in that today? Are you holding any stress, any tension, any pain or discomfort at all throughout your body? Scanning from your feet the whole way up through your legs, through your back and shoulders and chest. Again, just bring that awareness to any areas where you might find some tightness, some discomfort. And just allow yourself to assess what is. Not trying to figure out what might be there or why it might be there. Just take note and move on. And from here, I invite you now to check in with your breath. Not trying to change anything, but just bring that awareness to how your breath feels. So as you're breathing in, are you breathing in through your nose or your mouth? As you take a big breath in, do you feel your chest and shoulders are rising with that inhale? Or do you feel your ribs and tummy is expanding with that inhale? Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just allowing yourself to see what is present right now in this moment for you. And then going with that exhale. As you're breathing out, are you fully exhaling? Are you letting all of that air out of your body, or are you just breathing out a little bit and holding on? And if you are holding on, where else are you holding on to things in your life, in today? And from here, I invite you now to bring some more conscious connection to your breath. As you're breathing in, draw that breath in through your nose if you can. Seeing, can you draw that breath nice and deep into your lower ribs, allowing your lower ribs to open and expand. And then as you're breathing out, just allowing yourself to fully exhale, fully relax, allowing yourself to soften into your body. And just repeat that in a nice, slow cycle for yourself, where you're taking that nice, deep, expansive breath in, and go for that nice, slow, long, relaxed breath out. And continue with that nice cycle in and out. And as we're focusing on that long exhale, just allowing yourself to soften, allowing yourself to let go a little bit more each time. And just feel your body unravel, feel some of that tension and stress release from your body as you do so. And as you're starting to bring that breath to more of a relaxing, I just ask yourself to check in with what your intention is for you to be here today. What's the meaning for you to invest your time, your energy in showing up in this way? And just thank yourself for doing so. Give yourself some love, give yourself some gratitude for being here right now in this moment. And whenever you're ready, just allow yourself to take a big breath in and out. And again, a breath in and out. And one more deep breath in and out. Beautiful. And just slowly invite a bit of that gentle movement into your body, a bit of a roll through your shoulders, rolling through your spine, and just opening your eyes when you're ready. Coming back. Beautiful. So again, I just want to say a massive thank you for being here. So for myself, my name is Finn, men's empowerment coach, and my intention of this session is to help men just like you to really step up and reclaim that leadership of their lives. Because I know what it's like. I've been there in them shitty places where you've been struggling, and I know the impact that that has had on the people closest to me. The impact that that has had on my wife, my kids, my friends, and those around me. And I know too what it is like when you do step up and you take charge and you reclaim that leadership of your life, and the ripple effect that that has on everything else around you. It's so powerful, and I want you to be able to see that and receive that within yourself. And that's what we're going to be covering in today's session, where we're learning the 3 steps that you can take for yourself. So let's get into it. So for yourself, you might be here for a number of different reasons. A lot of the guys that I work with, a lot of the guys that I connect with, like, they may start off with having a lack of confidence in themselves, have like low self-worth and belief in who they are and what they can do. You might feel that you're not good enough. You might fall into that trap of being a people pleaser. You're doing things for everybody else to seek validation, to seek improvement outside of yourself, and putting yourself last. For some, you may know what you need to do, but you lack that consistency, you lack that follow through in showing up for yourself. Or you might do it for a little while and start seeing these changes and things are starting to go well. But then that self-sabotage comes in and wipes everything away. So you may be experiencing some of them, or even all of them that I've just mentioned. And that's okay, because you're in the right place to learn how to overcome that. Because I too have been there. I've experienced all of them throughout the different aspects of my life. Every single man that I've worked with and transformed their life has experienced some or all of them to some degree as well. And I want you to know that there is hope, that there is change possible for you. But it's not just going to land in your lap. It's not going to just happen overnight. It comes from you stepping up. It comes from you taking action for yourself to create that change. Like, over the last few years, I've helped so many men reclaim that leadership of their lives. There's guys who have been on the brink of breakdown in their relationships and divorce that have completely reignited that relationship with their partner and feeling that whole new sense of love and connection. I've had guys who were in jobs that were just sucking the life out of them. They were feeling so unfulfilled. Being able to really step into knowing who they are within inside themselves. And some of them, they haven't changed their career. They just found a new lease of life in it, and are absolutely thriving in the job that they were doing. Whereas other guys have completely pivoted from where they were. They've quit their jobs, they started studying, they started working towards this whole new career for themselves that is in alignment with themselves, with their values, with their purpose. And again, that is possible for you too. I've had guys who, without changing anything in their career, got like a $20,000 pay rise without changing anything in what they're doing on their day-to-day. And it all came from them doing this work and understanding themselves, understanding the value that they hold within themselves, and having that self-belief, having that self-worth, that they felt empowered to ask for that rise. So how many of you has so much of this sitting there waiting for you to claim, All of these opportunities are around you, but you're not seeing them because you're staying stuck in your stories. And that is why I do what I do. That is why I create these programs, create these classes to help give you the stepping stones to make the changes that are there for you, the changes that are possible for you, to be the man that you know that you can be. But the thing is, the sad reality of it is, there's a lot of guys who won't change. There's a lot of guys who will stay stuck. Because from this work, from what I've seen for so long, there's two types of people. There are two types of people. So type one is those who want to change. They're not happy with where they are in their life. They know that something needs to happen and they really want to change. They want to change so bad, but they don't. They're stuck in that victim mentality. They're stuck behind their shitty beliefs and the stories that they're telling themselves that keep them stuck. Whereas on the other side of that spectrum are those who are ready to take action. Those who are ready to step up and create change for themselves because they're ready and willing to take action. And there's a big difference between these two people. Those who want to change and those who are ready to take action. And this encompasses in an equation called the cause and effect equation. So for those who are not familiar with the cause and effect equation, the cause and effect equation is going to be a determinant of success in your life. Because we have success up here. And that success might be financial success. That might be relationship success. That might be health and wellness success. Whatever success is to you, whatever that looks like for you, a combination of all of these. Success is when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're fucking proud of the man that's looking back at you. Whatever that means to you is that success. There's a correlation to these two types of men. Those who want to change are stuck living in effect. So those who are stuck living in effect, they are playing the victim. They're letting the life happen to them. It's like they're constantly blaming life. They're constantly blaming these challenges. Like, oh, it's okay for you, but I cannot do that. It's like, oh, I can't afford to do that. It's okay for you because you're investing in that coach. You're investing in this and that. It's okay for you because like you're healthier. You don't have kids. You don't have X, Y, Z. Fucking list. Put in every one of your excuses into this field. For those who are ready to take action or live in that cult, that is where life is happening for them. That is when they're faced with a problem. Instead of blaming the problem, they're looking for solutions. They're looking at what they can do differently, what they can learn from that experience to be able to move them forward next time. They're taking responsibility and ownership of their lives because they are taking fucking action on everything that's happened to them. Whereas those who are living in effect, those who want to change, are remaining stuck. And as we look at this cause and effect equation, there's a direct correlation as we look through here. If you're living in effect, playing the victim, your success is going to be pretty low. So look at where you are in your life. Look at how successful you are in your money, in your finances, in your career. Look how successful you are in your relationships. Not just love relationships with your kids, relationships with your friends and your colleagues. Look at what your success looks like in your health and wellness. Look at what your success looks like within yourself, within how you feel when you look at the mirror, whenever your head hits the pillow? And where do you sit within this? Do you feel like you've got everything together? Or do you feel that there's a lot of work to do? And when you correlate that over, what type of man are you? Are you someone who wants to change, but has been a sucker for excuses? You do a few little things, but then your excuses keep holding you back. Your stories, your beliefs keep holding you back. Are you someone who's ready to take control, to take action for themselves? And as you do, you're going to get the equivalent amount of success. So this is the first step. This is where you need to be able to take that control, take that action of your life. Because as you do, as you have that growth mindset, that is where all of the success is going to come flourishing in for you. Whereas again, there's so many people who want to change, but they're not willing to put in the work. They allow all of the excuses to pile in, and they're going to remain stuck. So again, this is where I want you to ask yourself, where do you see yourself on that equation? And as you do, I want you to be really honest with yourself. Because guaranteed there's some of you who think you're further on than here, but your success isn't going to be correlated to that. You think that you're an action taker, but you're not where you want to be within your life. Because this is a continuous, never-ending spectrum that you can go on. Because one of the things is that tricks us in this is our pride, is our ego. We tell ourselves that we're a lot further on than where we are. We tell ourselves that we're taking action and doing all of these things, but we're not getting results to match. And then this is one of the biggest problems that I see in men's work in this space is guys who are consuming so much of this information, who intellectually know what they need to do, where they need to be, but it's not showing up in their life because they are consuming without actioning. So this is where I want you to be really honest with yourself. When you look at that, when you check in with yourself, being really fucking honest with yourself, where do you see yourself sitting? What type of man are you? Are you someone who wants to change? Or are you someone who's ready to take action? And just take a moment to really sit with that. So from here, this is where I want to start getting more honest with yourself and really getting clear with where you are in your life. So this is where I want you to get your pen and your notebook out and ask yourself some really hard truths. And the first one is like, I want you to ask yourself, what is the number one problem that you're facing right now? What is the number one problem that you're facing right now in your life? That challenge that is holding you back from having the success that you want. And be really truthful, be really honest with yourself within that. What is that number one problem, that number one challenge that you face right now that's holding you back? And as soon as you've got that, as soon as you're getting clear on what that challenge is for yourself, I want you to ask yourself, how long has that been there for? How long have you been faced with this challenge, with this problem? Is it days? Is it weeks? Is it months? Fuck, is it years? Because I know for myself, it wasn't until I got really honest with myself, I realized that I was holding the same challenges and problems for fucking years. And it was the same things that were holding me back for so long. And it wasn't until I started overcoming that, it wasn't until I started really stepping up and taking action that things started to change for myself. So again, how long has that problem been there for you? And not just how long has it been there for you, what has this problem cost you in time and in money? What has this problem cost you in time and money? How much time have you wasted staying stuck where you are because of this challenge, this problem? How much money have you lost? How much money have you lost out on opportunities? Or, as I said, one of my clients got $20,000 pay rise. And that wasn't on the table for him for fucking a year or two. But he didn't ask for it because he didn't have the self-worth. He didn't have the self-belief that he was valuable enough for that. But as soon as he went in for the conversation, they were like, oh yeah, like we've been thinking about giving you a pay rise for the last few months. So how much money is on the table for you that you're unaware of because of that problem, because of that challenge that you're facing right now? Now let's go a little bit deeper. When you look at that problem, that challenge that you have, when you look at how long it has been there, when you look at how much it has been costing you for your time, for your money, I want you to go deeper. How has it been affecting your relationships? How has it been affecting how you're showing up in your relationships? Be it with your partner, be it with kids, be it with friends, be it with colleagues, be it with family. How has that been affecting your relationships? How has it been affecting your health and your well-being? How much stress has that been having on your body? What detrimental effect is that having on your health? What job opportunities have you been missing out on because of that? And the big one, how has it been affecting you, how you see yourself, your self-belief, your self-worth, because you've been holding on to that challenge, that problem for so long? So again, it can be really tough. When we're asking ourselves these questions, it can be really tough. When we peel off the layers and peel off the masks and get really real with ourselves with this. But this is where the fucking work starts. This is where the change occurs, is when you get honest with yourself and where you are. Because if you're not doing this, you're just bullshitting yourself. And that is the truth. So again, as you look back at them questions, as if you look back at what actions that you've taken from all of that and from where you see yourself sitting with all of that, I want you to go back and see where you sit within this, and to help you let go of that once and for all. Are you going to need to be here or here? You fucking bet it. In order to let that go once and for all, you need to be an action taker. You need to be ready to step up and take that ownership, take that responsibility to life, and be the leader in your life. Because as you do, that is where everything's going to transform for you. And that's what we're going to help you get clearer on over the rest of this session. Sorry. So from here, guys, just allow yourself to have a little bit of a move around. It can be really heavy thinking about some of this stuff. So just have a little bit of a move around. Take a few big deep breaths. And again, have a little move and shake. So again, sometimes we need to go there. We need to look at them hard questions that we ask ourselves to be able to start to listen and create the changes that we need. And this reminds me of this. A few weeks back, I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember what podcast that I was listening to, but there was just something that was dropped in the middle of the podcast that literally stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, I run, pause the podcast, run, try to find a pen and paper to write this nugget down, because it just cracked everything open for me. And in the podcast, he was talking about how we view our own death. It can be a bit of a morbid one. He says, looking at how we view our own death. And when we look at the end of our life, when we look at our gravestone, if you look at any gravestone, there's a few things that is written on the gravestone. There's a bit of a memorial about yourself, a bit of a blurb about yourself on it. And then there's your date of birth, there's a line, and then there's the date of death. So again, your date of birth, a line, a dash, and then the date of death. And the most important thing on that gravestone is that dash, because that dash represents your whole life. That dash represents everything that you have done, everything that you have achieved, the person you are, the relationship you had, everything about you is represented in that dash. So where we are in our life and how we navigate life comes down to what we do along that dash. So we're born, let's be optimistic, live to 100. For me, I'm 35 right now. This is all gone already. This part of my life is all gone. That is time I will never get back. So wherever you are on the spectrum, whatever has happened between your birth to now is time you will never get back. So the choices that you made, the actions that you've taken, we can't change them. We can't change the impact that that is having on the trajectory of your life, because that is in the past. Because time is the most important thing. And what we do with that time is the most important thing, because we can't buy that time back. But what we can do with that time is bring awareness into how we choose to spend it. Because what we do within our life, the choices that we make, is going to determine the actions that you follow through on. Then actions are going to determine the results that you get in your life. And that's going to determine how you show up and see and feel within yourself. Because we are continuously surrounded by endless amounts of opportunities every single walking minute of every single day. And the opportunities that you see passing by you are going to determine where you go to life, where you go in your life. The choices that you make around them opportunities are going to determine the type of life that you've got to live. And as you look at that, as you really get clear on that, there's 3 choices that you can make. You can make green line decisions, which is a positive choice that is going to propel the trajectory of your life, bring you up that success curve, take action, be a man of action, take action. That's going to propel you up that success in life is a green line decision. The next thing you can do when you're presented an opportunity is do nothing. I just go through the motions, do nothing, which is going to change nothing, which is a pretty sad life. And the third option that you have is making a red line decision. There are 3. So making a red line decision. And that's making a bad decision, a bad choice of how you're spending your time, your energy, and your finances. Because they're the 3 most important commodities. Our time, our energy, and our finances are the 3 most important commodities. And time is the number one because that is the only one you cannot buy back. Our finances comes, goes, we can do things to manage that easy. Our energy, we can do things to manage that easy. But time is the number one thing. That is it. You cannot get that back. So whatever you do within your life, when you're presented with opportunities, is going to determine how you show up within your life. So are you making a green line decision that's going to propel you to live your best life? Are you going to do nothing? Or are you going to make a red line decision, something that's negative, something that's a bad choice for yourself that's going to actually drop you down into the shit? And the biggest thing is, a lot of people, they don't make the red line decisions, they just don't make any decision at all. And looking at your life where you are right now, is like, is that what you've been? You've just been coasting. You're too afraid to make a decision. So you don't know if it's going to be green or red. So you're just coasting and you're just living life day in, day out. until someday that line ends, that dash stops for you. And then what happens? Because that's the thing. We can either choose green line decisions that is going to create an absolutely amazing life for us, that is going to allow us to tap into our potential that we all hold within inside of ourselves and create that abundance, create that success in all aspects of our life. Because we're taking action and we're being big, brave, and bold. Or you're going to do nothing. You're going to make shitty choices for yourself that are going to keep you stuck and live a mediocre life. Because I know what I take. I know what choice I'm making. I'm fucking chasing them green line decisions every single time. Because you see, for me, I've been on this journey for a long fucking time. I know I'm only 35, but I was blessed to be woken up to personal development in the very early 20s. I studied as a sports physio, and as I qualified as a sports physio, it was just as the recession was hitting Ireland, and was working with a lot of older people who were coming to me with injuries, but because it was during a recession, they'd be coming when it was too late, when they had been holding and carrying these injuries for a long period of time. And as a 20-year-old, it was fucking amazing and daunting how many people just broke down as soon as we got up on the table, because I was always asking questions. I was always holding space for them. I was like, yeah, I'm doing the work on the physical body, but I was always asking questions and supporting and connecting with them on an emotional space as well. And there's a lot of people that had a lot of shit going on, that were carrying so much shit and were making redline decisions. They weren't making any decisions that was keeping them stuck. So I knew that I needed to do something. I needed to grow and learn so I could help support more and more people. And that set me on the trajectory of doing a lot of growth, a lot of personal development, a lot of mindset stuff over the years. But as I was doing it, I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of fucking limiting beliefs, a lot of shitty stories, a lot of trauma from the past that was keeping me stuck, that I was seeking all of this information. I was wanting to consume all of this information, but I wasn't actioning it. Like the previous diagram is like, I was always wanting to change. I was always chasing this stuff. But when it came to it, I wasn't actioning it. I was making small green line decisions of chasing information. But when it came to these opportunities, I would fall back. I would make a red line decision and say no to the opportunities, or would hide it and avoid it and do nothing. And I was just living a mediocre life. And the longer you do that, the harder that gets. And the big turning point for me was about 5 years ago, when our first daughter was about 1.5 years. And I hit a really dark point in my life. I had a successful clinic in Perth working as a movement and lifestyle coach. Clients getting amazing results. I loved what I'd done. It was fucking amazing what I'd done, but I was so miserable with inside of myself. But I was wearing a mask no one else knew but me. And because I wasn't feeling fulfilled with inside of myself, I was holding all of this stuff together, everything started to suffer. I lost momentum and motivation in the business, so the business started to suffer. That brought on financial stress and worry. I knew I wasn't doing what I was meant to be doing. And that brought more distress in my life. I was putting on this face for everybody around me, my wife included, and that was causing more stress and pain and angst. I wasn't being the man that I knew I could be. I wasn't being a grounded masculine leader for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my clients. And it was fucking tough. But I had so many shitty stories that were so ingrained in my subconscious that were keeping me stuck. I was wanting to change so desperately. But my stories were taking over. They were holding me back and keeping me stuck. And it wasn't until some opportunities were presented to me, as like mentors came at the right time, that I knew something needed to change. I needed to start making some green line decisions. And over the next few years, I was blessed to meet some amazing mentors who took me under the wing because they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. They had a belief in me that I couldn't even fathom. And even though I couldn't believe it yet, I borrowed their belief to make some green line decisions, to invest in me, to put in time, to put my energy towards it, and to invest financially in my own growth and my own development and take fucking action. And as it did, everything started to change. Everything started to transform. It was some of the hardest things, hardest decisions I've ever had to make. Then green line decisions, some of the most fucking hardest decisions I've had to make. There was times where I couldn't afford rent. Couldn't even afford a pair of fucking shoes from a 2-year-old daughter. We were had to tie it up between us, like, do we get these shoes that she needs or do we put food on the table for the next week? But I knew that I still needed to make these hard decisions and invest in myself financially when I didn't know fucking how. I said yes and figured out the how later. I became resourceful and I made it fucking happen because I didn't want to keep living a mediocre life. I didn't want to keep making red line decisions and saying no to them opportunities and allowing them to pass myself up. And that is here for you. That is what you are here for. To say yes to the opportunities that are passed in front of you. To say yes to yourself. Because you have so much fucking potential that you aren't even aware of. You are capable of doing and achieving so much more than you give yourself credit for. You just need the right people in your corner to extract that from you, to hold and support you through that and push you out of your comfort zone to be the best version of yourself, to reclaim leadership of your life. And that's why you're fucking here. It's not an easy journey. Fuck me, was it worthwhile? And again, at the end of this session, you'll be getting an opportunity to say yes to yourself. Because again, I'm on a mission to help men just like you, and just like me, to step up and create change, to step up and create the life that you deserve. Because I know what it's like. I know how fucking important it is. And I know how positive that ripple effect is in all aspects of you. So from here, allow yourself to breathe that in. Allow yourself to feel that excitement starting to bubble in. Because as you're breaking on this, as you're starting to see them green line opportunities come in, you're going to get them flutters in your stomach. You're going to get excited. You're going to get fucking nervous. Them old stories are going to start creeping in. It's like, oh, but you can't do that. But what about this? What about that? What about that? Them stories are always going to be there. Some of the most successful people I know have them stories still rolling through the mind, but they aren't listening to them stories anymore. They're listening to the things that's going to move them forward. And you can do the same. Because at the end of the day, you have made a green line decision already. Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. You made a green line decision to invest your time and energy in this session. And that is you doing something positive for you and for your future. So I want you to see that you are capable of doing that. Because you are here for a reason. You are connected to this for a reason. You're connected to the work that I do for a reason. Something inside you intrigued you about this. Something inside you sees that potential that you have, knows that there's more to life than where you are right now. But you just don't know what you need to do next. And that is what I'm here to do. I'm a catalyst for change, to be able to come here and help lead you into being that masculine leader that you can be. Because the thing is, it is there, it is possible for every single one of us. We just need the right people in the corner. As men, we need to let go of that lone wolf mentality. We need to let go of that idea that we can do it all on our own. I'll figure it out myself. I'll just knuckle down, just have to work harder. Just have to keep doing fucking more. And it'll work its way out. We need to let go of all of that shit, and we need to fucking focus on who do we have in our corner that's going to support us and rise us up. Who do we have in our corner that's going to be pointing out the blind spots that we aren't willing to see within inside of ourselves. Because when we do, that is what is going to create the change. Because at the end of the day, what has got you to where you are right now in your life isn't going to get you to where you want to be. What has got you to where you are right now has got you to where you are right now. When you look back at that number one problem and challenge, that's why it has been there for so long. Because you're trying to do the same things over and over. You just have to work harder. You have to hustle more. That idea, that model is broken. You need to do something different. You need to be someone different. You need to have new people around you, different people around you that's going to raise you up to a higher standard. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard, because that is where you're going to create the change. That's where you're going to initiate that change within inside of you and reclaim that leadership of your life. Again, like at the start of this, I shared that my intention is to help men just like you to do so. Because I know and I have lived and breathed the transformation that occurs when you do so. I facilitated this in so many other men, just like you. And again, seeing the results, seeing the changes, seeing the impact that it has had on their life, on the lives of their family, on the lives of their friends, and in the collective as a whole. Because as we start doing this work, this is where everything begins. This is where our new life starts. And we can tap into that potential. We can create that success, whatever that looks like and means for us. But we just need to say yes to the opportunities when they arrive. And like anything, like this mini program, this masterclass is a taster of what is there for you, of what support you can get to create these changes that you desire. And just like anything, if you're going to buy a new car, you don't just straight away I want that one and away you go. You take it for a test drive, you feel how it feels, you check out how it fits within your life before you make that decision. And this is what the intention of this program is. This masterclass is to give you a feeler, to give you a test of what this work is like and how it will work for you and how it'll transform your fucking life. Because at the end of the day, my desire is to work with you long term to completely transform your life. Because I know that you can. I know that you have so much fucking potential within inside of you. And I want to be there in your corner to help you do that. Because the more men I help, the more men's lives I transform, the bigger impact that is going to have in the world as a collective, for my kids, for their future. The more grounded, masculine men out there, the better this world is going to be. And that is why I'm here doing this. And that is why I want you to step up and step into this work and create that change that you can create. So take a moment to sit with that. Take a moment to really feel into that. And if you're ready to make these changes, I've fucking got you. I've got you. So from here, let's delve into the 3 steps to reclaiming that leadership of your life. So again, have a little move around, have a little breathe. Okay. So always getting nervous drawing some of these. See how it all works out. But yeah, basically, what I want to share now is my 3E method. So this is a method. This is something that I have created over the years. As I said, I've been working over a decade, working with people and working with human potential to be able to tap into that best version of themselves. Be it when I was working as a sports physio, be it when I was working as a movement lifestyle coach, be it when I was working as a life coach and now into men's space, men's empowerment space. Like the whole time I've been going through that, I've been observing human behavior and observing what works, what doesn't work, and creating these systems to allow you to fucking evolve and be the man that you want to be. And that's where I came up with this 3-step process that has got so many fucking powerful results for the men that I get to serve. And that is how we explore. So this is the first step. We need to explore where we are within ourselves, explore our model of the world that we are living, breathing, and being. We need to, as I said earlier, we need to understand what got us to where we are and what is causing us to react and be the way we are reacting and being. Because as we get clear on that exploration, as we get clear on ourselves, that gives us the foundations to start working on everything else. Because as we have that exploration, have that deeper understanding of us, that is when we can then evolve into a greater version of ourselves, evolve into that next level. Who is Finn 2.0? Who is he going to be? How does he look? What is his beliefs? How does he show up? And as we explore it and evolve into that next level of ourselves, that is what's setting the foundations for us and how we want to show up for ourselves. And then from there, as we are living and breathing and creating that next level for ourselves, that is when it comes down to how we embody that on a day-to-day being. So we have created this new version of ourselves. We've seen what wasn't working. We have fixed that and created this new version of ourselves. And as we create that new version of ourselves, we're embodying that on a day-to-day basis. And that is where we're starting to really ground in and be in that best version of ourselves. Because as we do, as we look through this space, there's lots of crossovers and lots of things that have to happen in that way. So when we were exploring where we are right now and what's got us to this point, and as we start making some changes, starting to shift up the different aspects of ourselves, that is all about setting foundations. So setting new foundations that we live from, because when we're exploring and understanding what is your stressors, what are your triggers, what are your emotional aspects, what is your emotional well-being, your emotional IQ. How can you tap into, understand, and express your emotions more? As well as that, in that explore, we're looking at your health and wellness, your vitality within inside yourself. What is them cornerstones that you're doing to look after your physical body? Like it's really looking at that mental, emotional, and physical well-being through that explore of where we are and how we can evolve that to that next level. Because as we do, that is where we're setting in healthy foundations to keep us really grounded, moving forward. Because as we evolve into that next level of ourselves, that's where we're upgrading how we communicate, how we hold the people around us, how we're able to communicate and express our emotions. And communicate when we're feeling stressed, that you need to set healthy boundaries for yourself to be able to be that better version of yourself, rather than falling into them old patterns of reactivity. When we're looking at that evolve section as well, that's looking at the beliefs that we hold, the shitty beliefs that didn't serve us, and how we can let go of them shitty beliefs and create new empowering beliefs and stories about how we show up. And overall, like we're really upgrading that identity that we hold for ourselves. Like who is that new version of us that we want to be, that we know that we can be? And as we get really clear on that evolved version of ourselves, that new identity of ourselves, this is where we're putting it into action. This is where we're living and breathing it on a day-to-day basis. We're integrating that into everything that we do. We're embodying everything about that new version of ourselves and holding ourselves to this high standards. And as we do, that is where we build that confidence and belief and self-worth in ourselves. Because we are living, breathing, and being that best version of ourselves, that new level. And as we do this on a continuous basis, we get to this new version, this new level of ourselves, and this new awareness and understanding. But the work doesn't just stop there. The work doesn't just stop when we get to that point, because this is a never-ending journey. One of the most important principles that you can adapt is having a can-I mentality, constant and never-ending improvement. Can-I, constant and never-ending improvement, where you are continuously upgrading yourself. You're in that growth mindset of always wanting to go through this process. Because when you've embodied that new version of yourself, if you stop, you just get stagnant, get stuck, And then that's when things are going to start, cracks are going to start forming. Whereas when you're in that embodied space, that's where you can go back through and explore and evolve and embody as that continuum. And as you do, that's where you're continuously spiraling up to that new version of yourself. That's where your success is continuously expanding on that cycle. That spiral upwards is key of working through this the whole time. Because as we do this, what that center point is the grounded masculine leader. Is when you're living and breathing and being a grounded masculine leader, you're living and breathing these 3 steps. Because this is what it's going to take for you to reclaim that leadership of your life. Is to adapt this mindset of constantly exploring where you are, why you're here, what you need to do, what you need to upgrade within your stress, within your emotions, within your health and wellness, to set them solid foundations for yourself, so then you can delve deeper into your beliefs, your communication, and upgrade that identity for yourself. And as you start doing this, as you have that confidence and belief and trust, and you follow through of that, that's where you're embodying it on a day-to-day being, integrating that into every single aspect of your life. And that is where that self-mastery comes through. Because you know that you want to continue on this journey, you want to continue to grow and evolve. Because one of the things that I see, one of the most common issues, problems that people face is they start on this path, they start doing some work, and then they think they've got it all. They think, oh, I just need to work through X, Y, and Z, and then I can stop. And that's when they get caught in that mindset of the false finish line. Once I get to here, then I'm able to do, then I'm good. As soon as you do that, you're always going to be going backwards. Again, when we look at that growth mindset, when we look at that cause and effect equation, it's like we want to constantly be pushing. We want to be constantly seeking out problems, constantly taking action. And as you do, that's where you're going to be bringing more and more of that success into your life, in your finances, in your career, in your relationships, in your health and wellness, in how you see yourself in the mirror, your head hits the pillow. That is going to be a continuous growth for you as you continuously work through these 3 stages of explore, evolve, and embody. And it's one of the things, let me share a beautiful story with one of my clients. His name is Pete, and he started off, actually got a memory came up the other day on my Facebook. He started off a year ago and came into one of these free trainings that I ran. And he was just like you. He was successful in his career, but it was sapping all of his energy, all of his life. He was struggling within his relationship with his partner. He was never there for his young daughter. His health was shit because he was just so busy and he was just caught in that rat race. But he has so many of these old beliefs and fucking stories that were holding him back, that were keeping him stuck from moving on, from moving forward, from creating that life that he wanted for himself. But when we went through the free training, again, just like you, he was presented with an opportunity to jump on a free, obligation-free call. And we jumped in the call, we dove deep and got really clear on what some of his blocks were, what some of his shitty beliefs were, and what his next steps that he needed to take. So he made a first green line decision was to jump on a call. Sorry, first green line decision was to come into the program. Second green line decision was to jump on the call. Third green line decision from the call was he actually wanted to go deeper into this journey. So he jumped into my Create Certainty and Self program, which is my group immersion program from there, where we really work on this section of setting our foundations. We're exploring where we are. We're starting to bring in that evolve, looking at our beliefs and our identity, where we're really setting these rock solid foundations. So we started on this journey through Creating Certainty and Self, where he started getting so much awareness of why he was where he was, the blocks that he had faced. And it was actually in the Grounded Masculine Immersion event, which is a one-day breakthrough event that we host every 3 to 4 months in Creating Certainty. Like in through this one-day event where we dove deep into our identity and our beliefs, everything just cracked open for him. And that was where he made another green line decision to move on from creating certainty in self and jump into the inner circle, which is my high touch, in-depth transformational program, where we work in a one-to-one context to really shift through everything. And as he did that, everything completely transformed in his life. As we're through with that success. Green line decision, green line decision, green line decision, and his life went where everything completely changed. Like 12 months on from where he was from the very start, his relationship is the best it has ever been with his partner. The connection that they have is so powerful, and they are so rock solid. They're actually trying for the second baby. How he is with his daughter, he has such a beautiful relationship with his daughter, where he's so present and so much more connected with them. He had actually a lot of childhood trauma that we have been able to really work through and clear a lot of that shit that he was holding from that, a lot of that hurt and pain that he was holding from that. And he has healed so much from that. Whereas before, he would go weeks in these downward spirals when this stuff would come up. Whereas if stuff comes up, he's able to see with it, sit with it, and move through it instantaneously. So much has happened for him as well. Whereas as we were going through the program, he ended up selling his new house that he had only lived in for a year, and bought, and ended up selling the whole house, bought land way off where he has always wanted to live, spent 6 months, quit his job, so I spent 6 months just being with his family, traveling around New Zealand, living this amazing, beautiful life, and setting up his future for himself and for his family. Because he got really clear on who he was as a man. He let go of so much of the baggage, so much of the self-doubt, so much of the lack of belief, lack of trust, lack of worth that was holding him back and keeping him stuck. He moved through so much of his ego and pride that was pushing him down a path that he didn't want to be on, but he felt he should. And the most important thing is he found himself again. He found this new relationship with himself and who he is as a man. And that has all happened in 12 short months of working together, because he made green line decision after green line decision when them opportunities set up. And again, that's the potential is there for each and every one of us. But it comes down to what action you take when you present with them opportunities. So again, how do we look at these 3-step models? We've already started off through here. We've already, from what we've covered so far in this presentation, have started to explore some of our problematic areas. You're already clear on what that number one challenge that you face, the impact that it is having on you. You're already starting to become more aware of what has got you to where you are right now. So that's where it's time to start looking into that next step and what needs to happen to start evolving into that next level of being. And this is where one of my favorite principles comes into play is awareness without action is useless. Again, awareness without action is useless. And this is one of the really powerful principles that we can utilize to move from that explorer with that newfound awareness to what it is that we explore to evolve. So what actions it need to take so you're going to start evolving to that next level of yourself. Pardon me. So let's look at this. So let's look at this diagram. This is like an iceberg. What is above is what we think we need to focus on the most, of what changes we need to make. So as we start going through that step one of the 3E method, is that explore, that is really opening up our awareness of why we do what we do. Open up our awareness of what got us to here. Open up the awareness of why we are reacting in these ways, what's going on through there, where our blocks are, all of that stuff. That is all opening up that first step of awareness. But as I said, like an iceberg, that is what we see above the water. And that is what a lot of people focus on. It's like, oh, I just need to become more aware of all of these things. But as I said, awareness without action is useless. So this is where I go through this model, this principle, for you to start actually extracting what needs to happen so you can evolve to that next level of your stuff. So once we have that awareness of what's going on and what our problems are within inside of us, we've identified the problems, we know what's there. A lot of times we go straight into that fix-it mentality. We try to just fix that problem. Whereas actually it's like, that's not really the problem. What really is the problem is what's underlying that, what the deeper meaning, the deeper belief around that. When you look back at your number one problem, your number one challenge, it's like, yeah, that's the problem and challenge that you're faced. But what is actually the problem? What is actually underlying that? What shitty beliefs are actually causing you to have that problem in the first place? So in order to get there, that's where we have to go below the surface. That's where we have to zoom out. Because a lot of times we get too hyper-fixed on the actual problem, on the challenge itself. We're talking about zoom out, and the camera starts messing up with the zoom. So again, instead of hyper-fixing on the problem, this is where we need to go below the problem to actually uncover what the underlying belief, the underlying meaning is to that problem in itself. So instead of really focusing on that, we need to take a step back and zoom out. This is where this introspective work comes into play. Asking yourself deep questions. This is where having people in your corner come into play. Because you're just going to be seeing what you want to see. You're not going to be able to see what's outside of that. You're only going to be focused on tunnel vision in where you are. You're not going to be able to see the things that are in your blind spots. So having people around you in this space is going to help you extract what you need to extract to move to that next level for yourself. Because when we zoom out, we become the observer. Like you zoom out of the problem and become the observer, and you start asking yourself questions, start getting inquisitive. Oh, why is this a problem for me? What is actually causing this? Because like what was happening before that caused me to react in this way? And when you start questioning yourself in this way, when you start showing up and opening up that bigger picture, that's where you're going to start seeing some of the deeper truths and the things that you haven't seen before. And then once you do, as you start looking at things through different lens, as you start observing through that other perspective, as you have people in your corner who are showing you your blind spots, that's where you're going to start seeing things in a new light. And that's where eyes are going to start opening up. And one of the most important questions that you can ask yourself is, as you go through this on your own, you're aware of what your problem are. You're zooming out and asking yourself, I was like, all right, what's going on? Why is this really a problem for me? Why is this holding me back? Lots of why, lots of what questions. But one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself is, what do I need right now? What do I really need right now? And when you ask yourself that question and really allow yourself to open up to receive that, that is going to give you what your first next step needs to be. Because the thing is, we don't need to know how to fix the whole fucking thing then and there. We just need to know what our first next step is. Because if we know what our first next step, that is what's going to take you from here to step you outside of it, to start creating change and start doing something differently that you haven't been doing before. So what is that first next step for you that you need to take as you're looking at your problem? We're going to be going through a few questions related to your problem down the track, but for now we're just going to be going through this whole model, this whole method. Because once you get the answers from what is it that you need right now, that is where you come on to the most important thing. But again, this is the thing that most people fucking miss out on, is take the fucking action. Again, are you going to be someone who wants to change, or are you going to be someone who's ready to take action? Or as you have that awareness, you zoom out, ask yourself the big questions, and understand what is it that you actually need to do. And when you know what that first next step is, that's where you need to take action. That's where you need to follow through. And as you follow through, that's where you're going to start creating change. So that's going to take you from that explore to evolve into that next level of thinking for yourself. And if you can bring this principle into every single thing that you do, every single challenge, every single problem that you face, no matter how big or how small, it is going to fucking change your whole life. That in itself is going to help you reclaim leadership in so many aspects of your life. But again, it comes down to you taking action. It comes down to you being the man who is ready to change, ready to take action, not those who are want to change. So allow yourself to take a big deep breath, because again, as we go through this, as we start understanding these principles, as we start understanding all of these different aspects of ourselves in this way, it's really easy to start seeing where we are and what we need to do. But following through, taking that next step is the challenge, and that's where a lot of people get stuck, because they let their old stories start coming back in, they let their old shitty beliefs start questioning things and holding them back and double doubting themselves. And as you do that, you're just going to keep yourself stuck in them loops. Instead of evolving through that spiral of growth, you're going to just keep stuck in the same fucking shitty loops. And nothing's going to change until you change. Nothing's going to change until you actually start actioning the things that you need to action. And let me share a story about one of my clients, Mitch, who, again, it was about, I'm going to say about 14, 15 months ago. He was just like you, came along to one of these free trainings that I was running, blown away by these new concepts, these new ideas that we were speaking about. But where he was stuck in a closed mindset. He was stuck in his story so much. And he knew all of this stuff. He was conceptualizing all of these ideas. He was reading all of the books, listening to all the podcasts, following all the right people, consuming all of this fucking information. He had so much awareness of everything around him, of all of his problems, of all of the issues, of all of the blocks. But he wasn't embodying this principle. He wasn't following through on all of this stuff. And as we went through the free training, he was to that fork in the road. Here he was given an opportunity to take a green line decision and jump in the call with Finn, or do they say no and stay stuck? And unfortunately, he let himself talk about it. He let his old beliefs, he let his shitty stories, his lack of mentality keep him stuck and hold him back. And I'll check in with Mitch every so often. Like, he's a fucking awesome dude. And the middle of last year, he lost the job. And he got to a point where it's like 2 kids, wife, lost his job, he was the main provider. And he went into a really dark place. He has a real fucking struggle, a real challenge for himself. And he went into a lot of pain. And during this time, he reached out to me, saying that he needs help. And it wasn't until he got to that point of so much fucking pain that he knew he couldn't do it alone anymore. He knew he needed to step out and ask about help and support. And that was when he made a green line decision to reach out and ask for help. We jumped in a call. We created a game plan for himself. We got really clear where he was, what his blocks were. Gave him some action steps that he could start doing to start making some positive changes in his life. He made that green line decision for himself. He took action. And then shortly after that, he made another green line decision and invested in himself. He got really fucking resourceful and found the money to invest and create something himself and jumped into the program. And as he did, things started changing even more. Things started growing and evolving even more. He started fucking growing and evolving even more. Letting go of his old shitty stories, that baggage that was holding back. And where he is now, like, he's in a completely different place than where he was. He's completely starting to follow his path. He's doing breathwork training,
Now he's starting to step into being a leader in the men's space as well, and holding his own men's circles and all of these things that are starting to happen. But with him, it's like he had so much awareness at the start, but he didn't take action. And with not taking that action, with saying no, with that Redline decision, that dropped him down and caused a fuckload of pain that didn't need to cause him and his family. All because he didn't say yes to the opportunity. And at the end of the day, he came back full circle. And now he's starting to make the changes. But how many of us have allowed that to happen? How many of us have said no to opportunities? And then the pain kicks in. Because I know that fucking happened to me so many times. I was a slow learner with it. But now that is why I'm a growth mindset. That's why I'm consistently saying yes to them opportunities when I'm presented with them, because I know what happens when I do. Whereas when I say no, I know how easy it is to fall back and fall down into that pain. And I do not want you to miss out on that opportunity as well. Because change comes from either desperation or inspiration. So why wait until you're at your darkest, deepest fucking point to try to pull yourself out of it? Why not start stepping out of it and taking that ownership right now? Because again, the opportunities aren't coming. And again, I'll be sharing an opportunity to jump on a call, a completely obligation-free call, to work out this plan for yourself, to work out a game plan for yourself moving forward. Because I know that you can win. I know that you can reclaim that leadership of your life, but being a man of action. So allowing yourself to take some nice big deep breaths. Allowing yourself to really check in with where you're at. And I want you to go back to what you had written at the start when I was asking you the questions around what your number one challenge is, what your number one problem is right now. And go back and just reflect back on what that problem was. Go back and reflect back on how long you've had that problem, the cost it has had financially, time-wise, in your relationships, in your career, in your health, in yourself. Get clearer back on what that is. And from here, we are aware of that now. So let's zoom out. Let's look a bit deeper and zoom out. And I want to ask you, what is it that is causing you to remain stuck in that problem? What is it that is causing you to remain stuck in that problem? What is the belief that you're holding that is stopping you from fucking breaking through that? What is that shitty belief, that shitty story that you were telling yourself that is keeping you fucking stuck for longer than you need to be stuck? So writing that down, get clear on what that belief is. And now from there, zoom out a bit more and go deeper, ask more questions. Where was the first time you had that belief? Who did you adopt that from? Was it from your parents? Was it from school? Was it from past relationship? Where did that originate from? And getting real with yourself. Because this isn't something new. You didn't just pick this up yesterday. This is something that you've been rolling year after year. This has been something that's been holding you back in so many aspects of your life that you're probably not even aware of to the depth. And the next question is, who do I need to be to overcome that? Who do I need to be to overcome that shitty fucking belief that has held me back for so long? What type of man do I know that I can be that's going to overcome that? Are you someone who wants to change? Are you someone who's ready to take fucking action to change? And lastly, what is it that I need right now to move forward? What is it that I need right now to move forward? asking yourself that question. What is it that I need right now to move forward? That might be to jump on a call with me where we can delve deeper into this and really hash out a solid game plan for you moving forward. Might be whatever that is. What is that thing that you need to do, that action that you need to take to move forward? And what I'm asking for you from here is, you've done this time. You have been aware of it. We have zoomed out and we've got clear what that limiting belief is that's holding you back. You know what action that you need to take. So the next thing is to follow fucking through. Because you deserve it and the people around you deserve it. You deserve to step into your power. You deserve to reclaim that leadership of your life. And the impact that that is going to have is fucking huge. So this is your time to step up. This is your time to take action. So allowing yourself to breathe that in, allowing yourself to really feel that in your body. And what that action looks like. If it's to jump on a completely obligation-free 45-minute game plan session, where we can go through your answers, we can go through what that number one challenge is, we can go through where that limiting belief originated from, work through some processes to clear that once and for all, and create a rock solid game plan so you know what your next first step is. Because again, you don't need to know the whole fucking plan of what is going to get you to where you want to be. You just need to know what your next first step is. At the end of that call, you will be so fucking clear on what your next first step is. And you will have that support to follow through with that. And you will be on the path to reclaiming that leadership of your life. And as I shared earlier, it's like, if you choose to go even deeper, if you choose to make another Redline decision and invest in yourself and in your future and work together in any of my programs, you will have me in your fucking corner. You will have my group of brothers in your fucking corner that is going to help you level up after leveling up, after leveling up, and working through that evolve, explore, and embody model. So you can be the grounded masculine leader that you know you can be. So again, this is an option, there's an opportunity for you to take that action. Send me a message and let's fucking talk. Let's do that because you're worthy of it. You can do it. So from there, just allowing yourself to take a couple of breaths, allowing yourself to really feel that coming through, feel that excitement coming through, feel that nerves coming through. You may even want to pause right now and message me. Pause the video right now and message me, rather than leaving it to the end. Because sometimes when we leave it, I'll do that later. We let them old stories start creeping back in. We let them fears, that uncertainty and doubt start creeping back in. It's going to stop us from doing that. It's guaranteed. Then fears, that uncertainty, that doubts have stopped you from doing so much before. Like Mitch, that caused them redline decisions of doing nothing, of living that mediocre life. Whereas now is take that green line decision. Message me to book in a call. So from here, just going to finish off with one last thing that I feel is going to be super powerful to use. It's going to really tie everything together from what we covered today. We've already covered stacks, loads of heaps, and really understanding, peeling back them layers of where you are and what you can do to start creating that life, start stepping into that version of yourself. Working through them 3 steps of exploring who you are, bringing that awareness in, evolving yourself by taking that action and moving forward, and then embodying the changes that you want to be. So in today's session, like in this masterclass, like that's the 3 steps that you can follow. With the embody side of it is like, there's no point going into that one right now because we want to be focusing more on step 1 and step 2. And another really, really powerful thing that I want to leave you with is just something more that's going to bring more of that awareness, that's going to bring you through that exploration to that evolve, that's going to really start setting these foundations and how you show up. And I was quickly talking about your beliefs, talking about your belief systems and what has got you to where you are right now, because it all comes down to them stories that we tell ourselves, the beliefs that we hold about ourselves. Because for a lot of us, unfortunately, it's like we are governed by some really unhealthy beliefs that have been ingrained in us from such a young age. Because we adapt them beliefs. Well, most of them beliefs come between 0 and 7. In our developmental stage, when we're in this theta brain state where we're just opening and consuming all of this information around us, and it creates so much of our subconscious in them early formative years. We're looking at our parents, we're modeling our parents, we're looking at the environment, we're looking at everything around us and modeling all of our behaviors on everything that's around us in our personal reality. And that's what creates the personality that we have. That creates them stories and them beliefs that everything originates from. And that's what determines so much of what we continuously do and continuously cycle through our adult life. And it's not until we go back and start looking into some of them beliefs that aren't serving us, letting them go, learning the lessons that we needed to learn from them, and then bringing that lesson forward, that we can start creating real change, that we can start really grounding in this new identity, this new version of ourselves, which is going to allow us to then embody that being. So, to give you an example of how people have different belief systems, I guess a beautiful example I love looking at is when two friends go to the movies. Go to the movies, sit down, watch the movie. Both of them are watching the exact same movie. But as they're walking out, at the end, one of them is like, yeah, that movie was all right. Didn't really like this and that. Whereas the other person is like, oh my God, that was the best film ever. We can all relate to that times where like both of you are watching the exact same things, but both of you have a different reaction to everything that happened. And that all comes down to the different beliefs that they hold. That all comes down to the lens that they see the world through. Because that is all from what has been there from their subconscious conditioning. Like the lens that they see the world through, how they consume information, how that computes through their neural pathways, to how that has an effect in their body, is all determined on the belief systems that they hold. And the beauty about it is, the more and more we learn about neurology and neuroplasticity, is like them beliefs can be adaptable when we bring conscious awareness. This is a lot of the Joe Dispenza work that's really fucking powerful. But going through this in a basic level is where we are in life. This is where we sit in life, and we have beliefs. So again, with our beliefs, that is the lens that we see the world through. That is how we make sense of everything and every experience that we live, every experience that we're in. And that's going to determine how we show up, how we react, how we respond to different situations. And the thing is, our beliefs are going to directly impact the potential. Our beliefs are going to directly impact the potential that we hold for ourselves, potential that we perceive for ourselves. So if you've got a really shitty belief that is like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not smart enough, guess what? Your potential is going to be pretty capped. It's going to be pretty low. You're like, because your beliefs are low, because your beliefs are negative, your potential is going to be matching that. Your potential is going to be capped and low because you feel that you're not worthy enough, so you're not going to be worthy enough. And then the sad thing is, when your beliefs determine the potential, your potential determines the action that you're going to take. So again, if you have a shitty belief, so it's like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, whatever that might be, your potential is going to be capped. It's like, I can't do that, I can't invest in that course, I can't work with that mentor because I'm capped with everything within them. So then that's going to match in with the actions that you take. you're not going to be going after them green line decisions. You're going to stay where you are. You're going to keep doing the same things that you've always done, hoping something's going to change. That's that insanity is. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Shitty beliefs. You live in a low potential. You're doing the same actions over and over, but expecting something to change. And then the thing is with the actions that we take determine the results that we get. So the actions that we take will determine the results that you get. So again, shitty beliefs, you've got a cap potential, limit potential. You're not really taking any big, bold actions. You just do the same things over and over, expecting something different. But if you're doing the same things over and over, if you're only just pushing yourself that little bit, it's like, I'm not really going to try. Guess what? You're only going to get mediocre results. You're only going to live a mediocre life. You're not making green line decisions. Your potential is going to remain the same. You're not taking big, bold action. You just stay flatline. You're going to live that mediocre life. And then as you do that, guess what? The results that you get feed the beliefs that we hold. The results that you get feed the beliefs that we hold. And you just get stuck in this cycle. You just get stuck in this loop. And for yourself, when you look at that, when you see that, when you go back and look at that limiting belief that you figured out from the last exercise, that belief has keeping you in this loop in so many aspects of your life. And that's why I said earlier, what got you to where you are right now isn't going to get you to where you need to be. Because what got you to where you are right now has been determined by the beliefs that you hold, the potential that you see, the action that you take, and the results that you get. So that's going to get you to where you are right now. Something needs to shift, something needs to change. We need to shift and upgrade our beliefs to then it's going to reflip this. Because when we have a positive belief about ourselves, when we shift and upgrade our beliefs, that opens up the potential that we hold. That opens up what it is that we're capable of doing. And when we do that, we feel more confident within ourselves. We feel a bit more bold and brave. So we're going to take big, bold action. We're going to be making more green line decisions. When you make green line decisions, when you're taking better action, you're going to be getting new fucking results. You're going to be getting things that you didn't get previously. And as you do that, that gives more confidence, instills more belief in yourself, which then keeps building this sector. So this is where we want to delve into. This is where we want to get really focused on that growth mindset. Get focused on that constant and never-ending improvement. Because as we do, that opens us up for so fucking much more. So if we can start ingraining this into the system, if we can start looping this through, that's going to allow us to shift through so much of them shitty beliefs and really tap into that high potential that we hold. Or you can stay stuck. You can be someone who wants to change, but you're not willing to change. You're not ready to take the action. Because again, someone who wants to change, you can be aware of this, but you're not doing what needs to happen to change the beliefs, to rewrite this program. Whereas those who are ready to take action will be bursting this through belief after belief, taking action after action. And as you do, then results are going to continuously grow. That success, be it in your career, be it in your finances, be it in your relationship, be it in your health and wellness, be it in yourself, how you see yourself in the mirror, are going to continuously grow and evolve. Because you're putting yourself continuously through this growth mindset. Because you have invested your time, your money, your energy in yourself. You've upgraded the people that you surround yourself with. You have people like me in your corner that is going to be calling you out and calling you forward and showing you your blind spots. So you can step up and live that best fucking life. And again, this is what is there for you. This is what is possible for you. And I want fucking you to win because I know that you can win. I know you can follow these processes. I know you can take fucking action in this and reclaim that leadership of your life and be that best fucking version of you. But it all starts with one thing, green line decision. It all starts with saying yes to yourself and taking that action. So again, this is where I'm giving you that opportunity to jump on a free 45-minute game planning session. It's not going to be a sleazy sales call. It's not how I fucking roll. I'm here to support you. I'm here to give you as much value. And at the end of the call, if you feel that you want to go to that next step, fucking awesome. I will support you all the way. But at the end of the call, if you feel it's not for you, awesome. You're finishing the call with a game plan. You know your next first step. And I'm going to be here fucking cheering you on and supporting you. But allowing you to do it on your own. It all comes down to you saying yes right now. It all comes down to you saying yes to yourself and sending me a message to book in a call. Because, brothers, nothing's going to change until you change. Thank you so much for your time. If you've got any questions at all, just feel free to reach out. I'd love you to send me some feedback with this as well. And I'm looking forward to talking to you in our game planning session. Thanks, man.